ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಕಾನೂನು ಮತ್ತು ಪಾರ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟರಿ ಅಫೇರ್ಸ್ ಇದರ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳಾಗಿ ಮಾಜಿ ಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳಾದ, ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಅವರನ್ನು ಲೀಡರ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಪೋಸಿಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ ನಾನು. ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಕಾಲ್ ಯು ಮ್ಯಾಸ್ ದಿ ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಲಾ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಪಾರ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟರಿ ಅಫೇರ್ಸ್. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಶ್ರೀ ದಕ್ಷಿಣಾಮೂರ್ತಿ ಅವರೇ ಕಿಲ್ಪಾರ ನಿರ್ದೇಶಕರು, ಶ್ರೀ ವಿದ್ಯಾಧರ್ ಹಟ್ಟಿ ಅವರೇ ಮಂಗಳೂರಿನ ಜಿಲ್ಲಾ ನ್ಯಾಯಾಧೀಶರು, ಮತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಮಂಗಳೂರು ಲಾ ಕಾಲೇಜಿನ ಪ್ರಾಂಶುಪಾಲರಾದ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ರವೀಂದ್ರ ಅವರೇ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಮಿಸಿರುವಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿವಿಧ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳಿಂದ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಪ್ರತಿನಿಧಿಗಳಾಗಿ ಬಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪ್ರತಿನಿಧಿಗಳೇ, ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿನಿಯರೇ, ಈಗ ತಾನೇ ಕನ್ನಡ ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯ ಸಮ್ಮೇಳನ ಉದ್ಘಾಟನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಅದು ಇವತ್ತು ಸಂಜೆ ಮುಕ್ತಾಯ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಅದರ ಒಳಗೆ ನಾನು ನೇರ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಮಾತಾಡಿದರೆ ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನೇ ಏನು ಭಾಷಣ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೋ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ವಿರುದ್ಧವಾಗಿರುತ್ತದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಶ್ರೀಮಾನ್ ಎಚ್ ಕೆ ಪಾಟೀಲರು ಮಾಡಿದ ಹಾಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕನ್ನಡ ಮಾತಾಡದೇ ಇದ್ದರೆ ನಾವು ಕನ್ನಡಕ್ಕೆ ಅಪಚಾರ ಮಾಡಿದ ಹಾಗಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ನನ್ನ ಉದ್ಘಾಟನಾ ಭಾಷಣಕ್ಕೂ ವ್ಯವಹಾರದ ಸರಿ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂಥೇಳಿ ಮೊದಲು 4 ಮಾತು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ತಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ದ ಹಾಗೆ ಈ ವ್ಯಾವಹಾರಿಕವಾದಂಥ ಭಾಷೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಧ್ಯಮವಾಗಿ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ತೇವೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾಧ್ಯಮವಾಗಿ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ತೇವೆ ಮತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಸೇವೆಗಾಗಿ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ತೇವೆ. ಭಾಷೆಯನ್ನು ಸೇವೆಗಾಗಿ ಬಳಸಬೇಕಲ್ಲದೆ ಭಾಷೆಯನ್ನು ಆಶ್ರಯಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಬಳಸಬೇಕಾದ್ದೇನಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ಕೂಡ ಸೇವೆಯನ್ನು, ಈ ಭಾಷೆಯನ್ನು ನಮ್ಮ ಸೇವೆಗಾಗಿ ನಮಗೇನು ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿದೆಯೋ ಅದನ್ನು ಹೇಳುವುದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ಭಾಷೆಯಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಸೇವೆಗಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು ಬಳಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಮಾತನ್ನು ಹೇಳಿ ಕೆಲವು ಶಬ್ದಗಳನ್ನು ನಾನು ಈಗ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಅನುಕೂಲಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಮತ್ತು ಈ ಸಮಾರಂಭದ ಮಾಧ್ಯಮ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಆದದ್ರಿಂದ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಇಚ್ಛೆ ಪಡ್ತೇನೆ. I am immensely pleased for the initiative taken by our law college to organize a national level conference at our college in association with Kilpar on a current topic, that is human rights in the era of globalization, which is a very important aspect in a democratic state like India. We have just heard a very enlightening speech from Shri H.K. Patil ji and also Honorable Justice N.K. Patil ji. Both have touched the subject in such a detail that there is hardly anything that has skipped their attention and skipped the purview of their subject. I think we had another very learned Dr. P. Ishwara Bhatt, who spoke also on the subject with authority and sufficient preparation. The Honorable Justice has touched about the Vedic background of equality and human rights. Throughout the history, if we notice that there were only 4 grades according to the duty they perform, that is, we used to say Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. There were 4 grades made according to the profession they do. A person who was supposed to do spiritual, religious and maintaining the social awareness and conscious the people were called as Brahmanas. And they were also intellectuals who were doing more of intellectual work. There were Kshatriyas who were also working only as a protectors, guardians of law. Those laws which were prepared by the first were protected by the next, that is the Kshatriyas. They were not only protecting the borders, but also they were protecting dharma. They were supposed to implement and see that the human dignity, human rights are protected, and there will be equality, understanding, and peace and harmony in the society. Likewise, we used to call the next grade as Vaishyas, who used to do trading, who used to do business, who used to take risk of dealing with the farmers as well as with the citizens of the town. So they used to give protection to the agriculturists. At the same time, they also used to feed the urbanites. And there are always Shudras who are called as the Shudras because they were always working for the in the farms and working for the other three categories. So anybody working for anybody else is a Shudra by himself. It is not that word itself is degrading or humiliating or insulting. It was classified according to their work. If a Brahmana by birth, if he does a inhuman work, insane work, or if he is ill-treating a person rather than treating him equally, he would be called as by the last word the Kshatriya, Shudra. It was by his act, by his behavior, by his culture that he will be recognized, not by his birth. That was the equality given by our ancestors. But slowly, for obvious reasons, the different castes and religions were developed in which we had a grading in the society, and that type of grading made convenient for some, but was really a punishment and a torture for the others. Now, when we look at the modern world, sometimes we feel that we are highly sophisticated citizens. We feel that we are more educated. We feel that we are more intellectuals. We feel sometimes we are more intelligent than the past. But many a times, the exploitation of the opportunities has taken a different turn. That is why the human rights in the era of globalization is relevant, because there is a change in the situation of exploitation. Now, whatever our earlier speakers have done or spoken is about the various exploitations that has been taking in the society. I won't repeat it because most of us are well informed about it. We are not well informed as Shri H.K. Patil or the Honorable the Justice, because they have the feeling of the society like me. I have a feeling of the society because I interact with people. I interact with different categories of people. People approach them for justice. People approach them for help. People approach these two dignitaries and me at the time of calamity, at a time of injustice done to them, adharma done to them, himsa done to them, violence done to them. They say sometimes only God can rescue us, not human beings can rescue us, because sometimes the human rights violation is so grave that it is impossible by humans to give natural justice. So they always go to the feet of Lord, saying that at least the deeds done by the fellow, the karma done by the sinner may be punished severely. So the rights, equal rights and human rights have been changing every time, because we feel that by the change of time, change of the evolution, the way we are educating our people, with the way the people are getting educated, they are also changing their strategies to curb the rights of others. They want to take advantage of the situation to bring them, to develop their own personality or develop their own wealth or their status. So many a times we feel like the subjects touched by the earlier speakers, like the child labor, the women, the business community, the farmers in the villages, the untouchables in the villages. There has been tremendous changes in all the cases. For example, the mere awareness of the issues are itself a great change that has happened in a country like India. If you see, 60 years back, now they honored me that I have just completed 60, but at least in the 40 years of my age, which I was more, I was in a stage of understanding the world, at least in my 40th year. Fortunately, I occupied my seat of Dharmadhikari at Dharmasthala. It was just after the independence, about 20 years later, after the independence was declared to the country. There was still that old nausea of the Raj empire, Raj administration, and also the untouchability was more visible in the villages and the rural parts. But suddenly today I find, if there is any change that has happened in the country after 60 years, along with all the economic and social growth, that we have changed the scenario in the country about this injustice done to the humanity, like untouchability. There was so much of talk about Devadasa's system in those days. especially in Belgaum, in other areas, and all these areas. So the one subject of one subject of any speaker about human rights is talking about Devadasa system. Now you don't hear anybody talking about Devadasa system, because every child was offered to God, saying that if I have a baby, female baby, I will offer it to God. If I have, there's some baby is ill, it's not, then those days the medical services were not good. Then in a state of desperation, the mother would say, or the father would say, if she survives, I will offer her to God. Offering to God is nothing but sending her to prostitution or offering her to the society. It was a that was a slow evolution over the centuries, that in the name of offering a girl to the God, she was exploited by the society. Any person who is offered to God cannot be exploited, but it's happened the other way. But you don't find that protest now, because there is a new face for the old devil. The old devil is exploiting a woman, but the new face is modernization. If you see, you can see all naked dances, all vulgar dances, all vulgar photos in a TV channel. It is not treated as illegal. It is not treated as vulgar. It is not treated as uncultured. Because if I say it is uncultured, you will laugh at me. The younger generation will laugh at me. They will say, laugh at us, saying that this is the modernization, this is the globalization. Having a fashion parade, having a exposure of a girl or a paid girl on the screen is nothing but a new trend, new fashion, new age. So you old people, you cannot tolerate it. You close your eyes or change the channel. But it's not the way to changing the channel which is important, but changing the attitude of the people, looking towards a girl, or in spite of, when I look at a woman, she may be looking like a mother, she may be looking like a sister or a daughter or a granddaughter, but if you see the way she is exploited is nothing but, it is a change of the same old sin in a new face. Now there are big malls coming in the cities. Small shopkeepers are removed. They are in the streets now. This happened when I went to Australia, when I went to Greece, when I went to other nations. Wherever we used to go, the small shopkeepers would say, sir, we are closing down because big malls have come. Now people have entertainment and also they can go for shopping. In the name of globalization, you find the small business community is hurt very badly. Now even in agriculture, now Sri H.K. Patil ji referred to agriculturists. If you see the exploitation done to the rural areas, when I went to China, I met one of the activists who was staying in a village. He said, sir, there are only people below 15 years and above 60 years in the villages. The way people, the generation between 15 years and 60 are in the cities serving the service sector. Maybe it is in a hotel or in a construction site or in some other area. So even it's happening slowly in our own country. If you see last 10 years, you won't see a youth in a village. He would prefer to come to a town, wear a beautiful dress himself like his idol in the screen, and meagerly working for a salary of 1,000 or 1,500. He won't mind getting less salary than being in a village, but having a decent life, so-called decent life for himself or her in an urban sector. So these are all the phases of exploitation. Exploitation has become a common trend in the name of globalization. Yesterday, the president of the Kannada conference, Sheshagiri Rao, said, it is nothing but Americanization than globalization. What is Americanization? Any evil trend setting, any evil situation set, any social trend polluted is Americanization, because America has given such a freedom to its citizens. They are the big brothers of the whole world. They are the masters who talk about ethics and values in the world. They control the whole world in the name of dharma. But if you see any source of adharma, it starts from United States, not in the smaller countries of the world. So we are really worried about the era of globalization, because one way, yes, our children are getting better salary, better wages. One of the senior most IAS officer or a senior most college principal or somebody comes and tells me, sir, my son has been appointed in a company, IT company. How much he gets? He gets 100 times more than what I am getting after 30 years of service. I was sitting in the room and talking to Nui Srinivas Rao in the office here. I get a call from my Mysore Management Institute. The director is very happy. He says, sir, I'm excited. What is it? My student, Kiran, some girl, Kiran Khera or somebody, has been appointed by a company for 30 lakhs a year. Her salary begins with 30 lakhs a package for the first year itself. And how much I should pay my director? The salary the student is getting 30 lakhs. How much the teacher should be paid? How much the principal should pay? He will never get it in his service. But the trend is set for that. Now there is a spending thrill in Bangalore. All these youths, you find so many crime news. So many crime news in the press and the media. This all because when they have lot of money, they are attracted by the globalization. And I find whenever I fly in the aircraft or whenever I look at a foreign magazine, what I see is the luxury goods are so expensive, but they look very cheap. If I carry the same bag, if a lady carries the same bag, visits Dharmasthala, the local shopkeeper will offer her maximum 10 rupees or 100 rupees. But the same bag, branded bag might have costed her about 60,000 or 70,000. A watch, I never knew in my life that a watch can cost 10 lakhs, 12 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs. I never knew a small nail polish can cost $300 to $400. This is because in the name of fashion, in the name of globalization, your money has no value now. But at the same time, believe me, 25% of the world population live earning less than $1 a day. Even today, you find 25% of the world population living below $1 earning a day. If $1 means, you can see, imagine, the rupee value is coming down, not going up. So whenever last year it should have been 45 rupees a day. Today it's 25% of the population is earning less than 40 rupees a day. Can you imagine somebody living below 40 rupees earning a day? Maybe with $41 a person earns, he has to maintain his family also, not only maintaining himself, but also the family. So this is the scenario in the world. The gap, as referred by my earlier speakers, the gap between the rich and poor are increasing every day, and this is the new fear, new threat for the world. The poor are being more harassed, they are more exploited, and there is a lot of opportunity for the rich. When you talk about India, if you go to the rural sector, you feel poverty. When I read an English paper, or when I go to some news channels like NDTV or somebody, business report, they say, India is growing, India is flourishing, India is a big growing economy. Next generation will be for China and India. Now our Mahindra and Mahindra company goes for a bidding in UK. Tatas are buying some company in USA. Such a trend is happening. But what's happening to my villagers? Because I have 450,000 members in my SHG, self-help groups. I have got 450,000 families in my self-help groups. Shri H.K. Patil ji talked about that self-help group concept. Self-help group is nothing but empowerment to the poor. There is equality of human rights because we are sharing both sorrow and joy. We are sharing poverty and the progress. We are sharing love and also care. But the economic differences cannot be measured by the growth that's happening in the country between the poor and rich. So, I don't know, I am not going to talk anything which was prepared by me because I was greatly inspired by the two speakers. I made a lot of points for myself. I became a student more than a speaker here, because after listening to both the speakers, and especially Honorable Shri H.K. Patilji had written a very good speech, and of course Justice N.K. Patilji's speech had so many inputs in that. I think it will be published by Dr. Ravindra in good college magazine, so that every student will have a chance to read about it, because many a times students are not exposed to the real life, because fortunately they don't read papers. When a BBM college students batch came to me, when a management college students came to me, I asked them a simple question. I make them to interact when they interact with me, and ask them, what papers you read? Many people say, yes, we read. I ask them, what pages you read? You read the last 3 pages, or the end page and the first page? Preferably the last sports page and the first page of politics, but not the economic and other subjects in the most important pages that are relevant to them. So normally, if you read a crime news, it is a news for the law students, but perhaps you don't read it with that outlook, but you always read for the thrill, not for not to observe the reasons and human weaknesses behind them. We are all here on the stage, you are all below here, because we looking at an issue is different. We look at the issue with a different angle, and you look at it with a different angle. But you have to grow. Our Honorable Justice said, you have to grow. You are the future citizens. It is for you to shape yourself, to fight for human rights and justice in the future life, in whatever position you are. Again, let me congratulate all the students who got the certificates of cyber law. I have a very serious citizen who got the award from me, giving a good direction to other seniors, like don't, you see, Suresh Babu, who said, he's a model to others. After retirement, how one can be active, how one can dedicate himself for the society. Retirement is not retirement from life, but it is retirement from profession. So I congratulate him as a senior citizen for accepting our degree from him, and I also congratulate all students. Once again, let me say that I enjoyed the function. It was very informative. Spending 3 days in a Kannada conference, I never thought that I'll be able to speak in English, because all my thoughts were coming in Kannada. But somehow I managed it. I am very happy that Dr. Ravindra organized such a conference and could get such dignitaries on the dais. You are lucky to hear them, and I pray Lord Manjunath Swami to bless us all.